Hey, this is Roz, and you're about to watch a video on pixel art. To a new session of pixel art drawing. I'm drawing the room for the entry-level tutorial for my game Dungeon Marauder. And let's get started. Today I'm going to continue with the back wall. I started this in a previous video, so if you're interested you can find that out on YouTube. I'm going to disable a couple of layers so I can see the back wall, and what I'll do is I'll have a tiling approach. So I'm just going to create one section of the wall, and then just for preview purposes I'm going to duplicate it here, but in the game engine in Unity I'm going to actually use some tiling features to get that done. But for here, just for preview, I'll probably duplicate it around just to be able to see it well. So I might have to hide a couple extra things here. I believe this should do it. And that's the wall. I'll make a new layer so I can start working on that. And what I'm gonna do is pick this color, actually go with something darker just so I can see the shape. And lock it so I can create a perfect square. And now I have a square. So I know how wide I need this wall to be a square. And let's pick up that color again, make it actually slightly darker, just like 2% darker. Okay, just so enough so it's noticeable, maybe even just 1%. Yeah, just so it's noticeable. I still see a line difference here. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but that way I have a different color there, just so I can see where the tile starts and where it ends. Similarly, I'm gonna do that for this part, and just go slightly lighter on this. And I don't need to lock the square, lock it to a square anymore, just because this one's a rectangle. And there you go. Now I can safely disable the thing in the back if I want, or maybe just lower its opacity, just so I can still I work on a modular section of it, but I can still see the whole thing. Alright, and I'll make a new layer on top of that. And now I need to decide, what kind of pattern I want to do. So I was discussing in the previous video that I want to do a stucco kind of approach on this part, and then a kind of like a rock like put together rocks on this one, just so it gives it that medieval feel that I was going for. Alright, so I'm gonna actually start with that. I'll probably take a darker color here at the bottom and just try to block in kind of the in-betweens of some rocks. So I'll start with like a big square one here. I'm just looking at some references right now of what I want this to look like, and I'm actually probably going to make more than one tile variant, so make this one, make another one or two, just so it looks slightly different. But alright, and I'll clean it up afterwards, but just imagine this is the space between, so it's kind of like the shadowed areas between the rocks. And then I'll put the rocks inside, and ignore this, the palm rejection is not working really well right now. Okay. Maybe like a rectangular one here, maybe slightly longer. There you go. Oh. And I actually made a mistake, and I'm drawing directly on the layer I shouldn't have been drawing on, but that's alright, it was just a gray background. Then maybe like a long and thinner one here. Maybe another one like that here. So as you can see, it's just a bunch of structural rocks sitting on top of each other. It's not a very unique design. One in here, one in here. Let's clean that up a little bit. here, and maybe one in here. There you go, and it kind of has the shape I want already. And again, because I drew on the same layer, I'll have to clean it up inside this directly. So this is slightly different than what I usually do, because I'm actually drawing the space between the rocks right now, right? As opposed to what I usually do, which is I kind of draw the shape of the object that I want, and then the ambient occlusion. But in here, it felt like an easier approach to do it this way. And I probably do want a fixed shadow at the bottom, just so, and I might add more than that, but alright. And now should make a new layer and start putting in some silhouette for those rocks. So here I'm gonna go with something slightly more saturated and lighter, and maybe a different shade of blue, more like a teal, and go really high with that and see what it looks like, and probably tone it down in the opacity. But okay, it's not bad at all. Yeah, and actually I didn't want this to reach all the way to the top. And go back to this layer, correct that, go back to this layer, erase these lines. There you go. Okay, I should probably just wait until the end to clean up the polymer rejection, because otherwise it's just annoying work. Darken this a bit, go on this one, do kind of the same thing. Actually, these two probably should be lighter, but we'll go back to that. Yeah, let's make those lighter. And then a bit darker at the bottom. And if you're watching this on the live stream, and if you have any questions, feel free to post them in chat or not, whatnot. And slightly darker on this last one here, just so there's like a slight gradient from. Okay. At the same time, I wanna already start putting in a layer of shadow, the contact shadow over here at the top, and I'll probably go with the really dark brown and more saturated. Yeah, that obviously is too much, but once I color in the stucco, I can tone that down a little bit. I might start now, just, yeah. Hey! If you enjoyed the content, leave a message below, like, and subscribe.